Alright, you mission building monkeys of the world. Uh, we're going to go over the CTLD script, which is, again, a little more complex than some of the other scripts that we've been using and gone over in the past. But don't let it intimidate you. It's, once you kind of go through it a couple times and know the ins and outs of it, it really isn't uh, that much more complicated and allows us to do some really cool stuff. So what I have here uh, is its CTLD script open just so we can kind of familiarize ourselves with it a little bit, because when implementing this script you'll certainly need to come in here and do some configuration due to whatever type of mission that you're going to set up. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to build maybe some of the basics, and we can use for a template just so you can get it implemented, and then you'll have something that you can work off of and figure out all of the cool things that can be done when you're building your missions. I noticed, I went looking today and I found that they had a new version out, and it's over here, version 1.61, and it has the cool capability of we'll be able to put in a trigger zone and name that trigger zone, and as we drop off troops, so let's say we make a fairly good sized trigger zone or whatever, and you can drop troops on the fringes of that trigger zone, and the troops will automatically move to the center of that zone, which possibly could be considered combat area or something like that. So that's kind of a cool, neat feature that I'll definitely be trying to implement, at a later time. But since I haven't really done it myself and tested it, we may save that for another video or time, or one of y'all can test it. Anyways, as we start here, right under the line where it says user configuration, this is where it starts with all the options that you can move, change, so forth, and everything like that. Most of these first ones will remain at default, and some of the others, you can change or alter depending on what you're going to do. A lot of times I don't do any of these changes and so forth until after I create the missions, get all my triggers in, and get my editing done in the mission editor. Then I will reopen this script within the mission and make the appropriate changes. Okay, some of the things that we'll look at here is looking, this is for hauling FOBs. As you read through, it's pretty self-explanatory, and take your own time. Like I said, you'll be able to figure it out. Some of the things that I change in here is like hover times and so forth, like right here where it says CTL hover time equals, all you have to do, highlight that, change it to your desired seconds. Lately, just for convenience and expediency of the mission and so forth, we have it down at 5 now. But you can make this whatever you want. They even have an option in here where you don't even have to hover. Although I like leaving it. It's a pretty good thing. You can change distances and stuff like that, but I find that their defaults fall in pretty good. I mean, it makes it very doable and still creates enough of a challenge. Other things that you can change is max number of troops if you decide to go with the desired number, smoke colors, so forth, things like that. So anyway, these are the options up here at the top, and I'm scrolling through now, that can be changed, altered, you know, if you have certain things in there that you don't want, you know, you can change them to false, and if they, you know, just the opposite. Um, just because you don't use it doesn't mean that you have to nullify it. So it just the option is there. So most of these can go, you know, untouched. Further down as we go, uh, this is what will be important, and these are actual lines that you'll be implementing into your script or as trigger zones and things like this. Um, these lines can also be changed. So, I mean, there's many instances that, you know, let's say we want to have 3 pick zones for the red side and 3 pick zones for the blue side, and we want where only uh, the blue team can pick up the blue troops, and only the red team can pick up the red troops stuff. You can make all these changes right here, and these can all be changed easy enough. So these names over here will stay the same. These parameters here can all change in all 3 of these columns. Description is right above and pretty much tells you what. So like if I was going to make 3 blue zones and then 3 red zones, I'd basically change in between these parentheses. Instead of that being red, I would go blue, and then red, red, red. Okay, the -1 means that there's no limited troops. If you only wanted to be able to haul out, let's say 50 troops from one zone and 20 from another, and you know 10 from another, you would make them appropriate changes here. Yes means that it's active, so that means it would be active at mission start. Now I believe that if you went ahead and said no here, it would make it inactive, but then later could be activated with some type of a trigger or something like that if you so desired. So like I said, this stuff is very flexible and can go in many different directions, which makes it really cool. And the writers of this script have really done a good job. And I'll go back up to the top. We'll give them some kudos later. But question was asked the other day: can we attach, you know, to the carriers and so forth? And absolutely. And I was actually unaware of this because I've just been doing it in particular zones. But there is an option where you could basically just name the unit, the ship unit. Okay, like in this particular case, it says USA Carrier, and then blue. For the blue team, it has 10 groups available, and it's active. And let's see, right now it's set where both sides can be picked up, and it has an additional flag number here that basically this is the amount that can be stored. Haven't used this before, don't know if it's necessarily necessary, but I don't see it harming anything, so you can leave it there. Here again, if you wanted to have more than one ship or one unit out on the water where you wanted to be able to load troops, then all you would have to really do is copy this line, okay, hit Control C is the way I do it, go like this and paste, and then you add another name in here as you would number or anything of that sort, like right there. We just say USA carrier number 1, and so forth, so on. So ever how far and ever how long you wanted to go with that, you could do that. So pick zones for ships, not tested, but I'm sure it works. The drop zones, you can create a trigger zone that can be a drop zone. And basically what that does is for the size of the zone, it throws out a smoke marker, and it is the desired location from wherever you haul troops in from the pickup zone. You drop them off in that specific place. And a lot of times there can be flags attached to that, so a certain amount of troops go to a certain amount of zone, and so forth. The waypoint zone that we was talking about, where when you drop off troops, this is the new feature that's added. When you drop off troops in, like, let's say the WP Zone 1, which would have green smoke, can be used by both blue and red side. And let's see, or no, it's active, and they got it where this is, the 2s are the blue side and the 1s, and these are already pre-named zones. All you have to do when you name a zone, WP Zone 1, that's what you get, and it'd be for the blue side, all the way down to WP Zone 5, and then you would start your red zones. So just a thing to keep in mind. We'll definitely be implementing this and see how it works out. But basically, this is a pretty good example here. Let's say Batumi right here is the middle of the zone you created, and you drop troops out here along this border. These troops will find their way to the center. So that's pretty cool. Further on down the script, these are what we will be naming the units. A lot of times when I'm just working with like the blue side and we have nothing but red AI and so forth, I often just use the medevac for it all. This also works in the Caesar script as well, so your units, whatever you name them, will actually work for both scripts. Medevac 1, heli cargo, same thing. A lot of times I just use the medevacs because I can have, a total of 16 units, and they're already in place, or it's already written in this end of it, and I just follow that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way down, just like it says here. If we wanted to go up to 20, again, you could just add them lines, in repetition, 17, 18, 19, 20, to any of these. Now, if you have making a multiplayer map with red and blue sides, then I kind of recommend just to keep things somewhat sorted out and so forth. When it starts getting busy, so you start naming your units, the medevac red and blue for red side and blue side. That'll help you stay a little more organized. As you read down through here, there's plenty of things that you can add. If you had helicopters that you just want to use as transports and stuff like that, you can name them transports. Now, they'll still be able to do some of the other functions, but by the name itself, we'll let the people know what it is. Okay, and these names, if I failed to mention it, these names will go into the unit ID, and we will be doing that shortly. Kind of make sure that everything goes in the right place. You can name certain groups. So if you have, like groups of soldiers out there and so forth, and you want to extract certain groups, you can name them, and you can put a group of 10 people over here and name them extract 1, and if that's the mission, you fly over there, find that group of people, and extract that particular group. And you could have 50 groups of people out there, but the one group that's named extract 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the number, then that's the group that will be extracted out of that group. Logistics, again, is the name of the zone, and that is within that zone is where you can spawn and airlift the Hawk units, the FOBs, and things like that we've all done in previous maps. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can pretty much stop right there. As you can see, it's quite an in-depth script, but you really don't need to concern yourself with any of this. All your options lay right in here with that, and the more you go through it, the more sense it'll make. They come in here, they explain everything in pretty good detail, let you know what options are what, and so forth, and go from there. So I'm going to take a quick little break, and when I come back, we'll start putting together a little test map and start laying the rest of this out. Be right back with you. Okay, now that we're done with that little overview, let's start making this puppy. And let's begin by where we want to load troops. Often, just for fun's sake, I put, like many of you flown a couple of the maps, usually you have to spawn in and fly somewhere to go pick up somebody. This time, just for this template's sake, we're going to make it a little more simple. And we're going to go ahead and create a zone right here. And we're going to name it. We're going to go ahead and name it Pick Zone 1. And we're going to reduce the size. Let's see, it looks like maybe 500 meters. Oh, that's even about 300. That'll work. And let's color blue for blue pick zone. And so now, seeing how this is where helicopters spawn in and so forth, you'll be able to load troops right from this zone. Okay. If you had this zone, let's say over here with some trucks and buildings or whatever, then you couldn't pick up troops over here where your aircraft spawns. You would have to come over here, land, and pick up your troops. But for the sake of this exercise, we're just going to move that pick zone right there. In your mission, you can take this pick zone, drag it anywhere you like, and resize it to anything that you like. So actually I'm going to size mine down a little bit, and that'll cover it. Okay, so now we have our pick zone, and this is where we're going to get troops. Let's say that we want to do logistics as well, and in doing logistics basically needs the same thing. You're going to have to be within inside a zone. So I'm going to go ahead and make a logistic zone, and remember, everything needs to be spelled correctly and in the proper order. I'll make this purple, and make this, let's see, 200 feet. Let me try something here. I'm going to size that down a little bit. and we'll make it 100 feet. So basically, we got some buildings over here and so forth. You can, again, add your own buildings, trucks, vehicles, move this zone anywhere you want. But here, let's say if you fly in with your helicopter and land on one of these roads right here, whatever direction you're facing, you can go through your F10 menu in your helicopter and pick a load that you want to spawn. The load will spawn out on your 12 o'clock. You pick back up to a hover, go hover, and pick it up. Just that simple. It's ready to go. So we have our pick zone, we have our logistic zone. Now all we're going to need is some vehicles. So let's say we're setting up a flight with some Hueys. I want to put him down here, and let's go ahead and get the Huey to take off from ramp. Let's do take off from ramp hot and slide it over in take off position 1. And you can see that he's very well within the confines of the zone. Go back to the helicopter. Let's put a nice little skin on him. Let's go with that skin. I like that skin. Okay. External hard points. Let's say we want to use him just for transporting troops. Let's drop the full fuel down, give him some door gunners, and call it good. For slick, you know, we'd remove the hard points, and that's all he could be is slick. Now, the other main thing that we have to do, we can name the group anything we want. So we could just call him Blue 1. But this is the one that matters right here. Okay, is the pilot and the unit number. Very important. Without this, you won't be able to haul troops or do anything. So I'm going to go ahead, since we're just setting up a blue side here, and I'm going to call it medevac space #1. He's the first medevac vehicle out here. And let's make him a client for testing. And now we have that. For other sakes, let's go ahead. Oh, another thing I should mention here. Okay, with these scripts, okay, each unit has to be of his own group. Okay, we discovered this a while back. And what happens is it will work. It'll work if you have 4 vehicles in here like this and you rename all the units to medevac 2, medevac 3, medevac 4. They'll still work. But if something happens or you're not into the lead unit, it affects being able to get into your F10 options menu and so forth like that. So what we'll want to do is 1 unit per 1 group. Okay, just plain and simple. Make sure your unit name again is named. It can be medevac, heli, cargo, you know, anything that's on that list of units. Okay. Let's go ahead and set up MI8, and we're going to make this MI8 just strictly a slick. We're going to put him in there, take off from parking hot, and let's move him to like the 8th position right there. It's a nice spot for him. Let's go ahead and get rid of his external hard points. Drop his fuel down. We'll give him 60%. And let's give him a cool skin. There's the skin. Pretty cool skin. It's showing hard points here in the picture, although it won't have them because we're unchecked. This is a new feature. Still work in progress right here, but really cool for those that haven't used it before. So on most of the airplanes and so forth, you can see it shows weapon loadouts and things. If you was to change it, it would show you what you have and where. Pretty cool. We'll save that for another time. This time, anyways, this is all set. MI8's all set. And let's give this one the name of Medevac Space number 2. And he's a slick only. So let's go ahead and name him MI8 Slick. There we got something to test. So we can pick up troops here. We can pick up logistic supplies here. Okay, and that's the basics. That does it. I mean, as far as what's on the map. Now we can add more pickup zones, which we will do just for the template's sake. And I'm going to go like this. And we'll just make them blue. I'm going to go pick zone 2. And let's make another one. And give him some color. Okay, so we got pick zone 1, 2, and 3. That would be how you do it. Now, the reason I've done it this way, because when we get back into the script itself, we have to make these appropriate changes to make sure that they are what they are. So we want all 3 of these zones to be the same, and we'll have to make them script changes. So anyways, for the basics of this map, this is complete. Okay, we have our pickup zones, we have our logistic zones, we have our helicopter units named appropriately. So now all we need to really do is go into the mission editor. Everybody has their own way of working in here. I'll just show you guys what I do. Here I'm going to run mist. I always do the time morph function. Just kind of gives the game a chance to load and then read the scripts and kind of breaks up the duties among the thing. I think it helps, but I don't know for sure. This ain't necessarily necessary, just something I do and that I've seen others do as well. We come over to the actions. You want to do script file. You want to open. Go into where you have your scripts saved. And then we're working in CTLD, so I will just open in CTLD, and I have the latest version of Mist that I'm running, actually located in all my script folders for convenience, but there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and load Mist. Mist is a general script that all these other scripts read off of, you know, and make everything kind of doable and interact the way they do. So now we'll come back in and we will run our CTLD script. And here I'm going to just give it a time more function of, let's say, 2. It'll be 2 seconds after mission load. It'll go ahead and give mist a chance to run, and then this. Again, don't know if it's really necessary, but I am trying it on certain functions with larger files like audio files and stuff to see if we can't get them to work more efficiently. So there is a purpose behind them. I just don't know if it's all necessary. So come back over, do script file, and open me back up in that one, go back to CTLD. I'm going to load up CTLD. Now with CTLD, it also has some sound files. You can run them separately, or you can just add them to this portion of the script. And what I do is play sound, let's see, sound to country, there we go, and pick a country that you won't be flying. I always kind of pick Australia. We can open it up, go back to our, oh, this put me way out of the deal here, go back into mission scripts, again, CTLD master, and these are the 2 sounds that we will want to load. So I'm going to go ahead and do the beacon sound, and I'm just going to clone that over and have to navigate back to mission scripts, CTLD, and beacon silent. So those are my 2 beacons there, beacon silent, and if you want to hear, it's just little beeps. And what this does is that silence the beep. So I believe it's part of the script. See, it has no sound. It's just part of the script that stops that from beeping. Okay, and that runs into the midst of in the CTLD options where you can drop radio beacons and things like that. And the Caesar script, which is pretty much written by the same people and added to by some, use the same sound file and so forth, which is nice, convenient. Once you've added these, there's no reason to add them again. Okay, it'll just overwrite the existing because they're all named the same. Same with the mist. If you're running multiple scripts, you only need to run mist 1 time. Okay, and then you run all your subscripts below that for CTLD, Caesar, GCI, CAP script, and things like that. They would all run under the one version of mist. So as of now, we have mist loaded by dscript file, and we have our CTLD script with the appropriate sound files, dscript, sound to country, just arbitrary country, it really doesn't matter, but these sounds do have to be in for some functions of the script to work, and that's it. Scripting done. We have our just an overview here. We have our pickup zone, a couple extras just in case we want to use them somewhere. Logistic, we have one of them built. If we want to make more, we just add the numeric number right after logistic, and we can place them anywhere. Size of these zones can be anything you want to make them. Like I said, with the script, you can also do drop zones and things. You can get pretty crazy with this. And we're going to dig into a little bit more of that right now as we save this and go dig into the script and make our appropriate changes of what we want to do here. So I think I already saved this. I'm going to save as I save this as AG51 CTLD video. I'm going to hit OK. And that is done. And I'm going to exit on out of here and take another short little break. And when I get back, we will dig into the CTLD script. Okay, we're back to our desktop, and we've done putting everything into our little test mission that we're going to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I save my missions within the user folder. So I'm going to go in there and navigate to where I saved the mission, and here it is. This is the actual mission file. So I'm going to open this up, and while it's still in zip form, I use WinRAR, which allows me to navigate within the zip and find my CTLD menu, okay, the script itself, and I'm going to open it up. Let's bring it back over here, and we will work with it some. First thing we're going to do is we're going to read through, all of this. Some of it, we went over in the beginning. Default number of troops to load on a transport, a heli. This is, one item here that that I sometimes, right there, CTLD number of troops. Okay, 10, 6, 10 is default. That's plenty. A lot of times if it's just Hueys that I'm loading up or whatever, depending on the mission, I'll drop this number down to 6. But for this sake, we're just going to leave it default. There's right below it is a fast rope maximum height. It's about 60 feet. A lot of people are still unaware that you don't necessarily have to land to unload your troops. If you hover anywhere between 60 feet or less, and you're in a steady of enough hover, you can extract your troops from elevation there. They'll just zip down on the fast rope. So, pretty cool feature. I'm thinking of a mission in the future where we're going to be deploying troops. You'll pretty much have to use something. You'll have to, get into a hover and drop troops because there won't be no place to land. Like in a treed region or a steep hill or point of a hill, or options are endless. Anyways, as we read on down through the script, there's certain things, like I said, it's all self-explanatory depending on what you're trying to build in your mission is what you can create and what you can do. One of the things I am going to change is right here where it says CTLD hover time. It's on line 88. Okay. And I'm going to change this value to 5. Maybe. There we go. Highlight it. Go 5. There we go. And that means hover for 5 seconds over crates and so forth to be able to pick them up instead of 10. Makes it a little easier, especially for newer pilots, myself included. Makes it all easy. Now we go in. We did 3 pick zones. Okay. Now we named our pick zones pick zone 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Right here, this is saying that there's going to be blue smoke in the middle of that pick zone. Okay. We don't want blue smoke, so we're just going to come back and we're going to write in none for smoke. Okay. Pick zone 2. Pick zone 2. Let's say we want blue smoke. And pick zone 3, let's say, get the whole thing highlighted there, let's say red. Okay, and since we're only gonna, these are all blue pick zones, we will just leave them 0 because we're not gonna have any opposition red side, you know, flying in and trying to pick up our units. And so we made the appropriate changes to the pick zone right within the script, and we're actually going to go back and test that just so you can see that the changes that I've made in here is what we'll see in there. Drop zones, we didn't put any drop zones. Waypoint zones, we didn't use. Medevac, we used Medevac 1 and 2. They're right there, they're already in. Logistics, we used 1 logistic. Okay, if we add more, we just do the same, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So anyways, next, you can see here that this is how the groups, you know, the loadable groups that we haul are made up. Which standard group is mostly what we do. They're made up of, let's say if we had our number above set to 10, you know, you would get 6 infantry, 2, I don't know what the MG stands for offhand, but then you have 2 anti-tank as well. So that would make up the group. You can change these numbers if you wanted more infantry or all infantry, or you know, no sense necessarily changing the AT and so forth, since how they're anti-tank. You can haul in an all anti-tank, you know, crew in, which would be only 2 infantry and 6 anti-tank. Or you could go 2 infantry and 2 or 3 anti-air. So anyways, you'll be able to, you know, if you wanted to customize this at all, you could certainly do that here just by changing these orange numbers. Spawnable crates and so forth, they're all pretty much predetermined, pre-wrote out. You can change weights and stuff if you needed to, like if we get to where the sling load is working appropriately, then you know, where we have actual weights, you'd actually might want to modify some of these weights where they're a little more doable for the Huey. Not quite a strain, but as of now, you don't really need to worry about any of this, and that's about it. You know, worth reading through, at least down here to this line. You know, once you start seeing these functions and stuff like that, that's the actual implementation of the script going off of the parameters that are set above it, and this is what the game reads and to perform all the functions. And as you can see, it's quite in depth. I mean, you got let's say 5,700, you know, lines of code in here, so it's pretty in depth. nice script. So it's a good idea sometimes to go back to the this link and see if there's a newer version. I just did that today before I did this and did realize that there was a newer version than I had, which is version 1.16, which that's how I found out about the waypoint and the zones. So it's good idea to keep it updated. Anyways, this is it. We've made the appropriate changes, pretty easy. Now all we got to do is save it. Usually what I do is I will just close it out and you'll get a pop-up message here and you'll say yes. And then you'll have another pop-up that is basically allowing you to save inside of this zip file, inside of the .miz file. And you're just going to hit yes. There it goes. It's saved and it's in game. Okay, it is inside the mission that we just created. All the changes that we made. This doesn't exist. So let's go ahead and close that. And that's for something else. And I'm going to start up the game again. And we'll give it another little quick review. And that should be it. Be back with you in just a second. Okay, we're back in game. And in the mission editor, we have the only real changes that we made to anything is we went ahead and changed these to blue only as the pick zones. And we put smoke in these zones and no smoke in pick 1. I can't remember. I think we did blue and red. So when I fire up the game, when we look across Batumi here, we'll see pick zone 2 and pick zone 3 actually have a plume of smoke out of them. So I'm not going to fly, but I am going to start the game just to double check, make sure that everything runs. A lot of times, you know, if there's any problem with the script or namings, a lot of times you'll get a pop-up message or your game won't load or things like that. Then you got to go back and troubleshoot. But for the most part, it's pretty simple. And, you know, if you take it slow, rarely will you wind up, you know, having to do much damage control. So let's go ahead and just jump in a Huey for now. That'll put us at their base and we'll check to see if we can load troops and we'll call it a day. Alright. I'm gonna get out of plane and then there we go. That's what I wanted to take a look at. We got zone 2 and zone 3 right there. Zone 2, zone 3, and of course zone 1 with no smoke. Let's get back in the helicopter. We'll go through our radio commands and go to F10 other, which turns this little deal on. Well, we'll go CTLD, group transport, and we're going to load standard crew, and we'll see if we get a message. There it is, and we get the message. So we're good to go. Looks like everything's good to go. Trying to get rid of this pin mode. There we go. The F keys are overlapped on my writing deal. So anyways, that's the end of the video. And I hope that it helps everybody. remember, you can move these zones anywhere. The Logistic Zone would be placed right there in front of these buildings, right there. You could fly in, land on the roads, kind of like some of us have done before, you know. But you can place stuff anywhere, anyhow, whatever your little mission heart desires. And with that, guys, I think I am going to go ahead and conclude a little CTLD video. I hope it helps somebody, and we will catch you later. Also included with this, I'll include this little mission, so you'll have the lines here, kind of help you remember things. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but also very basic and generic. I'll also include a PDF with a little cheat sheet for reminders and stuff, so, you know, remind you on how to name your units and things like that. So for now, anyways, we'll call this video 1. We can go much more in depth, but when the time comes, we'll do so. Next video will probably be on the GCI CAP script, which does the auto spawn of enemy and friendly cap flights, where they can stay within a zone and things like that. Here probably within the next week or 2. So goodbye for now. Checking out.